So I wanted to film a little sit down chatty brand story type video and give people a little bit of an insight into the brand, why we started, where we came from, all of that kind of stuff. I think it's just good to have on the YouTube for anyone that is interested, anyone that finds a brand and wants to know more, then it's here. So yeah, let's start from the beginning. So if you don't know me, my name's Rosie and I'm the founder of Instant Swim. Instant Swim is a performance swimwear brand, so we make swimwear for training and for leisure swimmers as well, but it's kind of an in-between of fashion and functional swimwear. So everything is functional enough to go and swim laps in it, but also it looks nice. So that's where we're bridging the gap in the market, because I think a lot of swimwear brands are either one or the other. So you have your fashion brands that look great, but they might not last very long in chlorine and they might not be very functional, so you can't actually swim in them. For example, like they'll go really baggy on the chest, or like they go up your bum, like they're just not practical at all. And then you have your functional swimsuits, which a lot of the time just don't really look that nice either. Like they might be a bit more boring, they might be plain colours. And I also think like you do have functional swimwear brands that look okay, but like they've not got that community to them. They're not like the, what do you call it? They're not a very Gen Z brand. Does that make sense? I don't know. Like, you know, the Instagrammy brands where they've got a community and they do events and like all of this kind of stuff. Like, you don't really have many of those in swimming. So that is why I created Instant Swim, and that is what we aim to be. A little bit of everything mixed together, and also bringing girls together and making a nice swimming female founded community. So where did Instant Swim come from? So I was a competitive swimmer for many years, pretty much all of my childhood and teens until I was 19. Swimming was like my life for a long time, and I always dreamed of the Olympics. That was my goal since I think I was about 10, maybe 10, 11. I think I might have been like year 6 when I remember thinking about it. So yeah, I would have been very young. And I remember even at that age, I remember being in year 5 and I used to leave school early to go training. My mum would drive me up to London to go and swim with like a bigger team. So it's been my life since I was very young. And then throughout my teens, I made some GB junior teams when I was like 16, 17. I was national champion at 13. And then when I was 19, I used to obviously do British champs, and I made Olympic trials in 2016, and then I finaled at British champs in 2019, which is like the highest level you can swim at in the UK, I guess, other than the Olympics. So obviously that's where you would qualify for all of your world champs or for the Olympics, that kind of stuff. So it was my life, and I ended up swimming at quite a high level. But if you know about swimming, then you probably know that there's really not much funding in it at all. It's just really lacked a lot of funding and a lot of publicity, I guess you could say. It's not really a big sport in the UK. It is, but it's not in terms of like popularity. So it doesn't get much funding at all, which is really a shame. And a lot of athletes don't really get paid unless you're like a multiple Olympic medalist, then you probably will get paid. But even if you do, like, because there's not much money in it, it's not even it's quite like a normal salary, I guess, and it's very hard to get that. So it's very difficult to make it your full-time thing. So when I was 19, I'd just done winter nationals, and I decided that was going to be my last event and I was going to leave swimming, because I just couldn't commit to another 4 years of not earning money and working part-time jobs that weren't really going to get me anywhere. I used to work in a cafe at the place that I trained. I used to work in a little shop at the place that I trained, and I was a swimming teacher, but like none of them I actually enjoyed, to be honest. I hated them all, and I just thought, like, I can't do this for another 4 years. And even then, there's no guarantee I would have made it. Like, you never know, someone could come out of the blue. Like, people can come from other countries, right, and compete at your, say like they have, I don't know, some link to being British, but they've trained somewhere else for their entire life. They can come back to British champs, win, and go to the Olympics for the UK, even though they haven't trained in your country, right? So things like that can happen, not saying that that did happen, it didn't to me, but things like that can happen. So if you commit 4 years of your life and you say, I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna do 4 years, I'm gonna go for making 2024 Olympics, that could happen last minute. Someone you've never heard of can come in and take a spot. And it's like, wasn't realistic for me to commit another 4 years of my life to something when, one, something like that could happen. 2, I might just have an off day and I might not make it. 3, my training might not go right and I actually might just not be good enough in 4 years. So it's a lot of pressure to put on myself, and I would be 23 by that point. That would have been last year, and I can't imagine have committed that much time to it and still be doing it like now or up until last year. So when I was 19, I had the difficult decision to make whether I was either gonna stop swimming and move on and do something else, you know, like actually get a job and like start earning money and start being able to support myself, or I was gonna continue for another 4 years and I was gonna try and make the 2024 Olympics, because that was my goal, like for a long time. I knew that I wouldn't make 2020 just because I wasn't there. Like they take the top 2 in each event, and I think in 2019 I might have been ranked around 7th in my event, so close but like not close enough, do you know what I mean? So being realistic, I knew I wasn't going to make 2020 or what ended up being 2021. So I thought, do I keep going for another 4 years, not being paid and working part-time jobs, and I would be 23 by that point, or do I just leave now, do something else, you know, like get started in a career or something else and actually start earning money and like being able to live life as an adult for the first time? Because at the time I was training about 20 hours in a pool a week and doing like 5 gym sessions a week and wasn't getting paid for swimming, obviously, and it's very expensive. Like I had to live away from home because there wasn't a club near me that could get me to the level I wanted to be. So I lived away from home, and I used to work part-time jobs that I really didn't like in the middle of the day, and I'd train in the morning, train in the evening, work in the middle of the day, and then I would do gym just before my evening session or just after. So it was very full on and wasn't getting paid, obviously. At 19, and it's a bit difficult because that's the point where everyone's like moving out and they're like going to uni and getting jobs and then getting started in the world as an adult, and you feel a little bit like just a little bit stuck because you can't do all of these like adult things for the first time, and you're trying to balance everything but you're not really actually supporting yourself. Anyway, so decided to leave swimming in the end of 2019, and then obviously we had lockdown, so it actually kind of worked out in my favor a little bit because it gave me a bit of time to like think about what I was going to do, because no one was training and no one was working, obviously. So I had a little bit of time. So in 2020, me and my older sister started Instant Swim. So she was at uni at the time doing business, and she always wanted to give it a go starting a business. And I had the idea of Instant Swim from when I was, I think, about 14. I remember I used to draw little swimsuits in my diary, and I actually came up with the name Instant Swim in 2015. When I was 14, that's when I made like the Instagram account, the Twitter account, because I knew that I wanted to do it, but I just, obviously I was 14, I couldn't do it. So I just made the Instagram accounts, and I used to write about it and draw swimsuits and like plan out what I would want it to be. So when I was 19, my sister was 21, and we said, okay, well, you've got this idea, and she had like her business knowledge from her business degree. Let's just start a business together. So we started Instant Swim with 100 pieces of swimsuits. Our first style actually was a Karma one piece, which is our best seller to this day, which is kind of crazy. It's the first style we ever made. It has changed slightly. We started with 100 pieces, and we used the Instagram account that I had and started posting about it, taking pictures just of ourselves, and made the website and started selling to people that I knew through swimming. So our first sale was actually a girl that I knew through swimming, and that's how it kind of started. And then people would share it, and I'd get my friends to wear it and that kind of stuff, do giveaways and all of that. Like, it wasn't a proper business, it was just like an Instagram account, like a little boutique, I guess, and we were just sending them from home. And we did that for probably about a year. At that time we didn't think it was going to be anything serious, like a long-term business. But eventually, about a year and a half in, me and my sister sat down, and she had finished uni at this point, and she was looking to get a job after uni, and she said, you know, like, I want to go and get out there, I want to use my degree, I want to get a job. So we ended up going our separate ways, and she moved on, she got a job, went a separate route, and I said, okay, I'm going to continue the brand. And at this point, I think this was 2021, I had this, like, I don't know what it was, but I got so obsessed with the brand. And I think I was watching YouTube videos of like founders and business owners and just anything that I could find, any kind of business topic video that I could find. I just was watching it, consuming it all, and I just got obsessed. And there was people in the industry, people like George Heaton, the Gymshark boys, Ruth Wabara, like people that just have created such incredible brands, and they're so passionate about it. Like, I got obsessed in 2021, and I was like, I need to make this happen. I had no idea what I was doing because I had no experience, I had no money, I didn't know anyone who had a brand or started like a business like this. It was very, very new. I was completely on my own, essentially, but I was so committed to making it work. So I decided, okay, I'm going all in on this, and I was working part-time still. I moved back home with my parents, and for about 2 years, for about 2 years, I was living at home, packing swimsuits myself, and it honestly, it wasn't really going anywhere at all. It was growing very, very, very slowly, but I had absolutely no idea how to run it as a business. Yeah, and those first 2 years were honestly, I would say they were the hardest years of my life, because I had gone through this phase of leaving swimming, and if you've done competitive sport before and then you've left, you might have experienced this, but you have this like real loss of identity, because your whole life you've kind of thought of yourself as a swimmer or as an athlete, and then you lose that all of a sudden. And for me, like, I moved back home as well, so I moved away from all my friends and my coaches and like everything that I had in that kind of that life that I was living. Moved back to where I didn't really have any friends around the area. I was living with my parents, and I just wasn't a swimmer anymore, and I'd never known myself as not a swimmer. So it was really hard, and I had a couple of years where I was trying to make the brand work, but it wasn't working, and I was doing it alone. I had no idea what I was doing, and I'd like lost my identity essentially from leaving swimming. It was really, really hard. Like, mentally, that's the lowest I've ever been. 2021, 2022-ish. I really, really, really struggled, but I just had this feeling in me that I was like, I am not giving up on this brand. Like, I know I'm making it work. I don't care what anyone says. I'm gonna make this work one way or the other. I still look back now and like, I don't know how I got through like 2 years of that, because that is a long time of something not working and sticking with it. I don't really know, but I'm so glad that I did. If I went back now, obviously I could do it so much quicker, but you don't know what you don't know. And at the time, like, I didn't know anything, and I didn't know anyone who could help. So it did take a long, long time to get the brand off the ground. It's quite crazy when I think actually I've been doing it for about 5 years. And sometimes I feel like it should be a lot further ahead, because I think, God, 5 years. But I literally went from 0 to where I'm at now, which, to be honest, like, I still feel like I know nothing, but I literally went from 0. Yeah, I've done a lot in 5 years, but it's also taken a very, very long time. It's taken a lot of patience to get it to where it is now. So anyway, after those couple of years, it finally got to the point where we had some consistent sales, consistent revenue, and it wasn't a lot, but it was enough to finally pay myself and actually start living life a little bit for myself as well. And that's when I moved into our 3PL, which is a third-party logistics center. So it's like a warehouse, and they ship your orders for you. So they have everything. They have all your stock, they have all your packaging, everything is barcoded. When the order comes through on your website, they pack it up, ship it out, you know, that kind of thing. So that was at the end of 2022. Finally did that, so I no longer had to pack and send orders after a couple of years of doing it. which was amazing. It freed up so much of my time to just work on the brand rather than actually have to physically be doing it all. Then I decided in summer of 2023 that I was going to move to Australia. Now this was like a 2-week decision, maybe even less, I think. I was just scrolling on Flatmates, which is the website where you can find places to live or find share houses, stuff like that. And I just found this apartment in the Gold Coast that I really loved. Started speaking to the lady, and then we had a call, and she was like, yeah, just like, you can move in, come now, pay the deposit. And yeah, that's what I did. I just booked my flight, got my visa within a day, and then I spent about 6 months in Australia. And that was the first time I like fully had been able to support myself fully on the brand. I then moved to Bali for a little while, and that's when things started to really gain traction, because I think because I trusted myself a lot more as well, and like I proved to myself that this is a legit business and income source, and like it can support me. Plus, like, I was doing shoots out there and content was so good. So yeah, so I did that for about a year. I was living abroad and things were starting to really pick up. Then one of our customers, actually, called Lauren, I was working with Lauren just like on a ad hoc kind of basis. Like, she was making some content here and there, and I thought, I really want someone to manage the social media. So I put on the story looking for someone like part-time to take on our Instagram. Got loads and loads of DMs, and Lauren said I would be interested, and I was already working with her and she had an amazing Instagram account, and I thought, okay, like, she could be the perfect person. So ended up working with Lauren, and now she is like a huge part of the brand. Really big thing for us is social media, community, our organic content. That's so important to us, because as a e-com brand, right, you spend so much money on digital marketing. It is ridiculous. Like, you would never believe how much money has to go back into marketing, which is just considered normal for an e-com brand, which I find absolutely crazy. I don't feel like that should be normal, but it is. One of our main focuses this year is organic content, events, community, building the community in real life, rather than just having to plow a ton of money into advertising, because it is so expensive. So that is a huge goal for us this year. We've just had our Sydney event, and I've got a London event in a couple of weeks. And honestly, Sydney event was so good, and it was crazy to see girls there in our swimsuits that, like, they're just customers of the brand. They just live around here. Like, I know obviously people buy swimsuits every day, but to actually see it in person and like meet someone and talk to them, and they're just standing there in a swimsuit that they bought, I couldn't get my head around it. Like, it was such a crazy experience. And it was just like, after 5 years of trying to see people in person that just, they come up to you and they say they love the brand, they love the swimsuits, like, they follow you on social media and they love what you're doing, blah blah blah. It makes me so emotional, because it's been, I feel like I'm gonna cry. It's been a long time, and like, I think about my 21-year-old self that was like struggling so much and like so desperate to get the brand out there, get it working. And like, our event yesterday in Sydney was just like so incredible, and it was just so amazing to see so many girls that just want to support the brand. They want to be a part of the community, and they're saying, oh, you need to do more, like, it was so good, let's do another one. Like, it just makes me so happy, and so like proud of my younger self for sticking with it. I'm so grateful that I did, because it was hard, but it still is hard. Like, it's still a lot to run by myself, but like, it's so worth it now. It is so worth it when you see the community and you speak to people in real life, and people say like, yeah, there's such a need for this, there isn't a brand like this, and there needs to be more swimming events and meetups, and like, let's make it a bigger thing. It's just incredible. It's like, it's the best feeling in the world, and I'm so grateful that I did stick with it, and we've got it to where it is now, and I'm just so excited to see it grow. I feel like this year could be quite transformative for us as a business, because we've got, like, our community is growing so quick, we've got so much planned, and it's so much more than just a swimwear brand now. And that's exactly what I've wanted from the start. Like, I've wanted it to be a real community, and also like a resource for people that want to get into swimming and they don't know where to start, they don't know how to write a training session, or they don't know how to put a swimming cap on. Like, I want it to be a place that people can come to and it makes swimming accessible. Yeah, that is what it's all about, really. I just want it to be a place where someone can go and they've never had any experience with swimming before, but they can watch our videos. Eventually they can go on our app and they can watch our tutorials, they can read our blogs, they can speak to people, meet people, and they can get started in swimming and make it less of a daunting experience, because I feel like as a sport it's just not the most accessible. Like, there's so many fitness plans and like running plans and apps and all of these resources out there for these other activities, but for swimming there's just not much out there, and I just don't think it should be that way, because swimming is so good for you, and I honestly love it as a sport. Like, take the competitive side away from it, just as an activity, swimming is so good. You can do it at any age, it makes you feel so good. Yeah, I just think that it shouldn't be so difficult to get into, and it shouldn't be seen as like some people can't swim. Like, everyone should be able to swim. Like, and I just want it to be a brand that people come to and they feel a part of straight away. Even if they're not a swimmer, they've never swum before, you're a part of it, because you can get in the water and you can learn to push off the wall, you can learn to kick, and then you're a swimmer. Like, you're a part of it. It doesn't matter whether you're an Olympian or you've never swum before in your life. That's what I want the brand to be, and I want to do so many meetups and community events where it's for anyone, and we can do them at different levels. We can do them for proper competitive swimmers, we can do them for beginners, and we're working on building an app at the moment where it's going to be a full swimming resource. So we'll have training plans, we'll have tutorials, we'll have, eventually I want to have like meal plans for people, that how to organize your nutrition around your swimming goals. I have like information for female swimmers and how to plan your training around your menstrual cycle. We're going to have a community forum on there so people can chat, they can make posts, they can, you know, they can say, I'm doing this event or this like swimathon, who wants to come and join? Like, it's going to be just so much more than just a brand. And we will have the shop on the app as well, but there's going to be so much more going on the app. We're also doing like gym exercises that help particular strokes and particular things that you want to work on. So that is the plans for this year, and if you're watching this video and you've got to the end, then I want to say a massive thank you for being a part of it and being a part of the community. It means so much to me. Like, I can't even explain how much it means, because I love being able to put my experience through all those years of swimming and put that into something. Yeah, and like share my experience, and you know, I just want to make swimming a part of more people's lives. So yeah, I want to say a massive thank you for watching, and I hope that you found this video interesting. I'm going to keep trying to make these YouTube videos just here and there when we do exciting things like events and stuff like that, because I think it's so good just to document, like even just for me, you know, as a memory to look back on. So thank you for watching, thank you for being a part of the brand. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.